Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you a all-in-one JavaScript tutorial, which will, uh, in 3 steps, you will be able to understand how string works in JavaScript, how an array works in JavaScript, how a function works in JavaScript, and how loops work in JavaScript. So one single code and all these features will work inside that particular code and you'll be able to see the output, how it looks like. Okay, so 4 steps which will make you guys understand how string, functions, loops, and array works inside JavaScript. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, let's start with the HTML code. So basically, I'm taking a simple output. So the output will be like I want to take display some names on my screen. Okay, so let's say that those names are the names of fruits and I want to display those fruit names in my web page. Okay, so how to do that? So first of all, let's create the HTML tag. Inside that, a head tag, and then I'll put some title. So let's say the title is all in one JavaScript tutorial. Okay, and then close up the title and then close up the head. Now we have to move on to the body tag. Okay, inside this, first of all, we'll go with the header, that is, let's say the h1, and I'll just copy this part. Okay, and I'll also create a p tag in which I'll capture the output. So here the element, the HTML element over here would be id as output. Okay, and herein you can write output is displayed here. Okay, now p tag close. Now next we come on to the JavaScript. Okay, scripting part. So here what we have to do. So as I said, 4 steps we have to follow and we have to learn like how string, array, functions and loop work inside JavaScript. Okay, first of all we'll start off with the string. Okay, and followed by array. Okay, so step 1, let's take it. So step 1 is create a string array. Okay, now what do you understand by string array? So that means we have to create an array which will have, suppose this is the array always comes inside a square bracket. Okay, so we have to create an array inside which there should be string elements separated by comma. Okay, so suppose I said I want to display the name of the fruit. So suppose here in inside my inverted brackets there is the name of the first fruit, obviously in the form of a string, then the second, then the third, and so on. Okay, so that is string array, that is called as a string array. Okay, so how to write that in JavaScript? So for that you can just write, suppose I take a variable as fruits. Okay, and then I can write inside, suppose apple and berry. Okay, suppose these are the 4 fruits which I want to display in my output. Okay, so the first part is we have created a string array. String array means this is the array in which you have string elements inside it. That means apple, banana, orange, and berry. These are of string form. Okay, and this particular variable, this fruits variable, is of string data type. Okay, fine. Now what we have to do, we have to move on with the step 2. So step 1 would be clear to everyone, like how to create or how to work with string and how to work with array inside JavaScript. This is the way you can use your array along with the string in your JavaScript. Okay. Step 2 will be, as we want to display these particular elements which are there inside the fruit variable, that means we have to display the fruits in our web page, right? So for that we have to create a function. Okay, so our step 2 would be, we have to define a display function. So display function will display all the fruits which are present inside the fruits variable. Okay, so here we have to create a display function. So for that we'll write function, and then we can write display fruits. Okay, and then the brackets, and then we'll open up this curly braces. Okay, so here is the function. So inside the function now comes up to the step 3, wherein we will be creating a for loop which will iterate through this particular array. Iteration means I'll be creating a for loop which will first of all print this particular element, that is apple, and then banana, then orange, and then berry in our web page. Okay, so how to create that for loop? So step 3 would be for loop for iteration of array elements. Okay, so how to write that for loop? So for the for loop, what we can do, first of all, we have to display it in the web page, right? So for that we can take an output variable, and then inside it we can write like the output or the fruits in the array is displayed over here. Okay, so there is a variable output, and then inside that you can write fruits in the array, something like this. Okay, and next start with your for loop. So what will you write in the for loop? So for loop we will have where I is equal to 0. Okay, I is less than the fruit length, fruits dot length. Okay, and then I plus plus. Okay, now what is happening in this particular for loop? So here, so this is the array element. Okay, so for this the apple, the index number is 0, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, because we have 4 elements inside our array. Okay, now when the for loop runs from I is equal to 0, that means I value is 0 over here. Okay, so first of all apple will get printed. Okay, then I plus plus, that means I value will be incremented to 1, so the next element, that is banana, will be printed. Then I plus plus, I value is 2, then the second element, that is orange, will be printed. Okay, and then the last, so here what is happening, fruits I value should be less than fruits dot length. Okay, that means 0, 1, 2, 3, right? That means the length of the whole array is 4. That means we have to print till 3, index 3, right? That's why we have taken less than fruits dot length. Okay, once this particular element is reached, that means the berry element is reached, this particular for loop will terminate and the output will be printed. So this is how the for loop is working in order to print this particular array elements. Okay, so now what we have to do inside this, we have to print the output like as we increment the I value. So for that what we can write, fruits, and then inside that I, and let's say that we want each and every output should be separated by a comma, then we can write inside the inverted code that it should be separated by a comma, and then end it with a semicolon. So what's happening? So when the for loop will run, when the I value is 0, okay, so here in the output plus equal to fruits I. Okay, fruits, and then inside the square bracket it is I, that means fruits I value is 0. That means first the apple will get printed. Then again I plus plus. So now the I value will be 1. That means banana will get printed, okay? And then so on, orange and then berry. So this is how the for loop will work, okay? So we have seen two steps: string in within an array, how to use string, how to use the array. Next we have seen how to use a for loop inside uh, you know the JavaScript. Now the third step would be how to go ahead and obviously we have seen how to create a function and then put the for loop inside it. Okay, so these are three things. Next we have to go ahead and so let me do this as 3. So next we have to go ahead and display the output. So for displaying the output, what we have to do, we have to do the document dot get element by ID. So here, which element of the HTML we have to take it? We have to take it the output, right? So here we can write as inside the inverted comma output, okay? And then how to take it? We have to take it in the form of text content. So text content will be equal to output, right? Now this is done. Now what we have to do, since we have used a function over here, so in order to display the output, we have to just call that particular function, right? So wherein you can call this function, suppose here I just call this function, so display fruits, okay, and then semicolon. That's my function called in order to display the output. Now close the body tag and then close the HTML tag. That's it. The whole coding is done. So the main motive behind this particular coding was we have to display this particular array which has string inside it. So first step of this particular code, that's the all-in-one JavaScript tutorial. String and array is covered in the first step. Second step, you have to define a function which will display this particular array in your web page, and inside the function you have to use a for loop in order to display, which can iterate from position 0 to 1, then 2 and then 3, and it can display all the array elements. Okay, so this is how the whole code looks like. Now what we have to do, we have to just save it and then check out like how it works in our browser or in our web page. Okay, so for that, let's go ahead over here. Now if you see, this is how it will look like. Okay, so let's check this out one more time. Okay, so here you have to make sure inside the for loop, like here this particular part, if you see the syntax, there should be no space right over here. Okay, so it should be output and then space and then plus equal to should be together and then no space. Okay, now let's save it again and then try to check the output. Like the output should be only these, like this should be the header, and then after that this should be displayed like the array elements, that is the name of the fruits should be displayed. So the output will be fruits in the array are, and then apple, banana, orange and berry will be printed. Okay, so let's check that out. So here is the output. If you refresh it and check it out, so all in one JavaScript tutorial, that was our h1. Okay, that was the h1 tag which we wrote. Okay, and then next is, this is what we wrote inside the scripting part, wherein fruits in the array element are apple, banana, orange and berry. So these are the array elements which got printed. So here for loop is working and it is actually counting the index and then printing it accordingly. Okay, so this is how the whole output will look like, and this is how you can use string, array, function and loop inside one particular code of HTML, JavaScript, and you can see the output, how it works, right? So that's it for today, guys. So hope you liked this video. If you did, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and Don't forget to like and share it as much as you can.